Salt Lake City. And then I wanted to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I feel like I will get back to y'all on Love and Marriage Huntsville because I really want to talk about the what's it called, Salt Lake City. Because we definitely gotta call some stuff out, okay? If my video is bumpy, I apologize, y'all. I live in the country, okay? I live in these back roads, so it's gonna be a little bit until we get to like the main road where it's not as bumpy, okay? So y'all just rock with me, okay? Let me fix this mirror. Okay. Alrighty, you guys. Ooh, this fly. Oh, I can't stand it. Don't you just hate when you're driving and it's like a fly or a gnat that's like it will not go outside the window? That is so annoying. What up? Got some bumps coming up. Okay. Yeah, and also the reason I'm doing Salt Lake City is because today is Tuesday. Hopefully this video will upload Tuesday, but we all know that's Salt Lake City Day. So yeah, we're gonna do Salt Lake City right now and then get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. Sorry y'all, my hair just got out my bonnet, so you know anytime your hair get out your bonnet. Alright you guys, I am back. Let's go ahead and get into Salt Lake City, okay? So we all know that the ladies are back after having that erratic plane ride home, right? And so at this point, all the ladies are basically talking about how Meredith lost hush on Britney, okay? And, you know, Meredith is trying to tell Mary Cosby in her little conversation with her that I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all know how Mary, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything to Britney. I simply was just venting my frustrations to my friends. You know, she was talking to Lisa, right? And Mary, you know, her conversation was like, I don't know why you're acting like that's what happened. Now, here's the thing. Do I feel like it was just this, oh my God, like, how did, ooh, this fly will not get out and it's pissing me off. I know y'all saw that big ass fly flying across my face. Oh, get out. I can't stand when they freaking do that. Oh, get out of my car. Gonna make me break too, flying across my face. But yeah, so do I think it was just this, you know, clutch my pearls? No, but I mean, we've seen Meredith have her, did it go out the window? Yes. We've seen Meredith have her, as Britney calls it, her seizures, right? We've seen them. So we know what that version of Meredith lost her mind looks like. Then not only that, more than anything, it's Lisa for me, because Lisa was in the car with John and said, you know, I've seen Meredith mad, but this was like different. Like, so if the girl who's known her the longest said that something, you know, was off, then something ain't right? But I also know that Britney is a white woman, okay? She is a white woman from Utah that's Mormon, okay? The epitome of white woman tears, okay? So I think that Meredith did the most in the version of doing the most that she can, and Britney said, okay, you know what? You did the most on me, so I'm gonna do the most back to you, and I'm gonna reverse psychology your ass. I'm not gonna go back at you. I'm gonna play dead, right? Oh my God. And Heather's like, did you not see us have to pick Britney up off the floor, you know, after the plane? That's what she told Lisa. She said, why are you acting like that's not what happened? And Lisa's response was, well, I was just protecting my peace, right? So she saw the shit, right? But nonetheless, you know, all the ladies are back and getting everybody filled in. Angie, of course, she gets filled in on what happened on the plane, and she's like, oh my God, you know, I can't remember who filled Angie in. I don't know if it was either Whitney or Heather or Mary. I don't know, one of them did. They filled her in. And so I'm sorry y'all, this episode was a little bit ago, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to remember everything, but I'm just trying to catch up, you know. So I'm trying to hit like the main, you know, bits and pieces. So down there. So, I sure wasn't thinking. I just kept going. So this episode opened up with, I think they told Angie, filled her in. Meredith got talked to. I think it was a finished conversation between Mary and Meredith. And basically she wanted them to acknowledge apologizing to Brittany. Oh, the ladies do a high body count hair, little party situation for Brittany. They feel bad for what happened to her, and Whitney's like, I want to cheer her up, right? So at the party, they all do some little fill up the stuffed animal, thing, almost like Build-A-Bear, because Bronwyn threw over Brittany's unicorn, right? So all the ladies get there, and Whitney messages Brittany to just come in. They surprise her from behind the counter. Surprise, and she's just so excited. And Brittany's like, this is all I ever wanted. She was like, all these announcements, I just wanted to be acknowledged. And she's like, ting, ting, ting. And they do the flashbacks. And every time I have an announcement, everybody's like, ugh. What's that SpongeBob meme? Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Oh, brother, Brittany, damn, another one. But so she comes in and she's just so excited. I just thought, oh, you fake ass bitches, right? So they give Brittany, some semi-heartfelt, little voice notes. Heather says, oh my God, Brittany, I love you. Angie gives her something in Greek, because it was a little potluck. Everybody bought a dish. She gives her a little saying in Greek. Lisa and Meredith, of course, weren't invited. And then they get to Mary, which they were like, Mary's, what did yours say? She said, oh, just listen. Which when that hoe played, all you heard was everybody's like, we didn't hear anything. And Mary was like, exactly. Oh, it was like, that's the whole point, bitch. And Mary's like, I'm not gonna be fake. We didn't see it, but in a flashback, we see that Brittany and Mary kind of had a little back and forth. She basically told Mary, girl, you are the least Christian-like person I know, and so we didn't see that. And so, yeah, now they kind of on, off grounds, right? What's her name? Brittany basically was like, well, I love you too, Mary. Well, at least you didn't say nothing bad. With Mary, not saying something is just as good as, not saying something bad, at least, after that, the ladies basically discussed, Whitney's like, I don't know how we're going to be able to move on. It just wasn't okay what happened. And I'm giving, it's starting to feel like a scheme that Todd set up. Especially with how fast Heather whiplashed on Lisa. Okay? Is Lisa in the wrong? Absolutely. But Heather, bitch, my good eyes on you. Okay? It's given you want to be the HBIC. You're going to knock Lisa down and you're going to, become the new Regina George. Because right now, Heather is giving kind of the anchor of the show, right? And Heather pays attention to the tides of social media, and everybody ain't been fucking with Lisa for about a good 2 seasons now, right? But Heather is a sucker for being somebody's friend that don't give a damn about her. We watched her do it with Jen Shaw, we watching her do it with Lisa, right? But the way she's has Lisa flabbergasted with the switch up on her, but also it's kind of understandable a little bit, because it's like, girl, you talk Cash Money shit in my face, basically talking about, oh my God, y'all don't live a life like me, basically we aren't the same. And so Heather's kind of looking at her like, bitch, what the fuck, what do you mean? She's like, our life ain't that much different, so I think Heather has kind of been just letting little stuff slide up under, but now it's just like, girl, I can't keep letting stuff slide, so, and then, what a lot of the housewives do is they call themselves waiting for the right moment to pull the trigger. And I feel like Heather has been waiting, because she is too pussy-o, okay? Too much of a pussy-hole, as the Miami say. I love when they say that like that. Come on up on here, pussy-hole, okay? Like, so, you know, because Heather is too much of a pussy-hole to, just, you know, to just, call Lisa out or just actually start shit with her with no other people having to be mad at her. Now she sees this as, oh yes, like it's the perfect time to, you know, take Lisa out, basically. So after they talk about Britani or whatever, Whitney's like, Bronwyn, she's like, I don't know if you're okay with me bringing it up. And Bronwyn does her head nod. She's like, well, you know, I just noticed you weren't wearing your ring. And Bronwyn's like, you know, yes, I'm not wearing my ring. You know, I've told Whitney, you guys, but, you know, when I got back from, you know, where they go, Nevis or wherever they went, she was like, Todd was caught, you know, messaging women on the plane. And, you know, I basically told him he was going to have to stay out. You know, I wasn't going to be able to look at him. He was going to have to go to a hotel. And immediately, you know what I thought of? Where do you want me to go, Sharon? To hell. Until then, I suggest the Four Seasons. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all want to sit there and shit on Obsessed. Obsessed was a good movie, okay? Obsessed was a good movie. Kiss my ass, so what, okay? Where do you want me to go, Sharon? To hell. But until then, I suggest the Four Seasons, okay? Beyonce had that role with that crazy ass white lady.
And go where, Sharon?
To hell. But until then, I suggest maybe the Four Seasons.
And so she was like, yeah, tell Todd, you know, go stay at a hotel. And so, you know, for Bronwyn, she's in a weird spot. She's telling the lady, she's like, I really don't want to leave Todd. I want to be with him. And she keeps specifically using the words, I want to evolve with Todd. I don't know if y'all picking up, you gotta listen to what people saying. You listen to the words. She says, I want to evolve with Todd, right? So in that regards, it's like, it's given she want to stay with Todd, but nigga, we gonna have to switch up the rules of the arrangement, right? You gonna be out here fucking on whoever and whatnot, then I need to get my pussy wet too, cause like, nigga, you ain't finna do nothing about it. Like, your old ass is not finna put my forehead through a mattress, bitch, okay? I'm trying to get crocked. Trying to get cracked, okay? Todd, your stamina is given 2 minutes without the Viagra, okay? Add in the Viagra, you might be able to get out 8, unless your heart give out first, because at your age, your heart ain't ready to withstand that blood flow, okay? But, and then not only that, you cheating and being so goddamn obvious about it, so rude about it. So it's just like, damn. I'll let you drive. I'll scoot over. Alright, y'all, I am back really fast to try to hurry up and finish up this video. I'm on the different side. My mom's driving. She's in there getting some tacos right now. In our town, we have this Mexican place called Mary's, and on Tuesdays, y'all, they do dollar tacos. Okay, in the authentic Mexican time, not that Tex-Mex, you know, kind. Okay, so dollar tacos on Tuesdays. Oh hell yeah, with the green sauce. Psh, say less. But let me quit playing. Let me hurry up and get done with this review. So I was finishing talking about basically with Bronwyn. She was telling the ladies that, you know, her and Todd are gonna have to figure out, you know, what is going on between them, because she's tired of basically feeling like she's always catching him in some shit. Like, dang, like, you can't hide it better at least, you know? And when men do that, it just goes to show like the lack of, I mean, they already don't care because they cheating, but it's just like, damn, like, give me some type of illusion, right? Give me some type of illusion to go with, you know? Give me the decency of the fallacy, right? The fairy tale. Give me the decency of that, all right? But yeah, she ended up telling the ladies that, and you know, we end up seeing the next scene with them talking. Well, actually, before we see Todd and Bronwyn talk, we see John and Lisa talk, y'all, bitch. when I tell you John had enough, John has had enough of Lisa's bullshit, right? And we're seeing a different John this season. I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think he low-key watches the show. I think John low-key watches the clips, watches the show, because a lot of the times we hear husbands, you know, they don't necessarily watch the show. Like, we know that there are husbands that don't, but I don't know why I feel like he watches it low-key, because Lisa is so image bent, you know, she's so like perception based that, you know, he's aware of that, right? And so I think him seeing what she feels like what she's looking like to the world, he's gonna want to see that, right? And so I think he's seeing the shit that how Lisa's acting with the other ladies and kind of feeling like, damn, you act like that with them too. Because Lisa, the fact that John is like, they're talking or whatever, and she's like, you know, John, I just really feel like we're not just like on the same page. Like, and he's like, yeah, you know, we're not on the same page unless I'm on your page. And this is like, ooh, it was like, he kept going for Lisa, like, it was like, like back to back. He was like, yeah, we're on the same page unless I'm on your page. And then you could tell Lisa kind of was like, like, I don't think because she feels so different, although her feelings are valid, of feeling like not the same, of feeling like she's doesn't have her best friend anymore, or feeling like she doesn't have her person anymore. And it's because John isn't being her lackey. Like, now it's almost the thing of like, wait a minute, why aren't you just listening to what I'm saying? Like, why are you talking back? Like, wait a minute, like, this is not what I'm used to, you know? And Lisa is now in that she's feeling, you know, so ostracized and isolated or whatever. And it's really all it is just listen to your nigga. That's it. And so he ended up bringing up the son because she was like, yeah, you know, I want to tell you, like, you didn't make me feel nice when we were in the car, you know, when I was talking to one of the sons or whatever. And she's like, I was just trying to talk to him, and you were just basically like, oh, you know, maybe you should listen, or like maybe you should talk to him and not at him or something like that. And John was like, well, were you telling him what you think or telling him what to think? And it was like, oh, it was like, when I heard that, I said, ooh,
damn.
I said, John ain't here for the bullshit, okay? He said, are you telling him what you think or telling him what to think? And she was like, oh my God. And then like, after you said that, he was like, yeah, like, can you say it differently? So she's like, I felt like I was being ganged up on. Granted, once again, another valid feeling. Is there a way to like express, hey, maybe you should speak to our son differently? But no matter what way you criticize Lisa, no matter what way you try to bring something to Lisa, she's always going to feel criticized and feel taken down, because that's just who she is. She does not know how to take criticism. So I believe the sons, as John said, he's like, you know, he's trying to speak to you from, as I spoke to him, to a male perspective, you know, a guy's perspective. Mostly with the part about the boy wanting the apartment. The boy's growing up, girl. And you can't have your boy under your roof. I think the boy would be like 19 by now, 19 or 20. He done been across the world. Done went on a little Mormon trip over there across the world. We know the church kids is fucking. Like, we're not gonna sit here and act like they not. Like, Henry want his own apartment. I feel like Henry ain't finna be Mormon too much longer, if you ask me. I can see it on him that he views it differently than Lisa. And Lisa living in a house with a whole bunch of boys who don't see shit the same as her, no wonder she feels alone. Although it's like, that's a valid feeling, but it still don't change the fact that the shit doesn't need to be conflated with the fact that you got shit to work on, you know. But yeah, when he said that, you can just tell Lisa's just, her whole demeanor's like, I don't know what is going on with this. She's like, you know, you don't hug me anymore. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I'll admit to it, like, I don't, you know. And she was just like, I just don't know what's happening with this, and I just want it to be fixed, you know. And John was just kind of like, Lisa, like, I be trying to tell you, talk to you, you cut me off. And then she literally goes, well, I mean, John, he was like, no, Lisa, like, he's like, that's literally like my point right there. He's like, every time I try to bring an idea to you, you basically shoot it down. And when he's talking, us as viewers, we can see it because we've literally watched Lisa do it. We've seen how Lisa, when she yells and talks over the other girls, we've seen that. So we can imagine how she do that shit to John, because John is quiet natured, right? And she was like, I listen, I'm a good listener, I know how to listen. He said, oh really, bitch? He picked up his phone and was like, Lisa was like, I can listen, I'm a good listener, don't tell me I'm not a good listener, bitch. It don't matter what, no matter what you say, if John says you don't listen, then bitch, you don't listen, because that's how he feels. He feels like you don't listen to him, you know? And I was just like, oh, Lisa, girl, you gonna lose this man. You gonna lose this man. You gonna lose this man, Lisa. I'm telling you, Lisa. And John, I don't never go for these dudes, but I'm telling you, John to me seemed like kind of one of the good ones. You know, we ain't seen no crazy shit from John, right? And from the looks of it, he's actually an involved father. Like, Lisa, don't fuck up and lose your man, bitch, okay? As they say, a good man, Savannah, don't you skip and do that, right? All right, I need these tacos to hurry up because I got PT. So yeah, after that, we see Bronwyn and Todd talk, right? Oh no, before that, Jared and Brittany, bitch. Jared and Brittany. We watched literally Psychology 101 with narcissism. Jared gets there, you know, she talks about what happened on the plane. Jared was like, yeah, you know, that sucks. But Justin told me you were flirting with the guys on the boat. The minute that they brought up how Brittany was flirting on the boat, I said somebody gonna run back and tell Jared, and Jared's gonna use that to his advantage in an argument. I knew it was gonna get brought up. I knew it was. And here we go. You were flirting with the guys on the boat. She's like, nigga, we weren't together. Like, we were on a break. So he's like, well, this is what I mean. Like, this is what I mean. Like, you want me to be with you, and like we're supposed to be together, and you're already flirting with people. Da 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 da. And it's like, nigga, you got the mitigated goal. And then what else? She was walking. They were walking down to the water or whatever, and she was like, well, Jared, like, I just don't know what it is with us. Like, you won't even tell me. Anytime I ask you, like, hey, what are we? Like, what are we doing? I never get a straight answer. Like, can you just answer me? Like, what are we doing? Of course, you don't answer the motherfucking question. Well, I mean, it'd only work if you would just act normal. Like, if you would be sane for 5 minutes. Or, and it was kind of like, she would look at him like, wait a minute. Like, sane? Like, he flipped that shit on her so bad. Well, how about you be sane first for 5 minutes, then we'll see. Then it's, oh, you know, you were talking to other guys. Then it's, well, I don't ever know what you like. You run away. Now, granted, do I think Brittany does the push and pull thing with him? Yes. But her version of push and pull is the fact that, like, I'm going to run away and not get close to you, because if I get close to you, you going to cut the cord once again and pull that bullshit with me. So then they get closer to the water or pond or whatever, and he basically she was like, you know, you want to do this thing, you're talking to other girls, and you're telling me that, you know, we're not together, then you want to talk to me again. And she's like, you know, he's like, well, what do you expect? Like, you're supposed to be taking a 30-day break from me. How's that break doing? I said, ooh, bitch. The fact that Jared knows about that 30-day break, I wonder how the daughter's going to feel about those words specifically coming out of his mouth. I feel that Jared, first of all, he want to be on the show. Okay? Secondly, he sees you as a sucker. Okay, Brittany? And I'm going to need you to get it together. Bitch, stand up for your daughter. Stand up for your daughter so she knows how to stand up for herself. Because the fact that he brought that up, I'm like, damn, like, Brittany, did you tell him verbatim, like, I need to take 30 days from you? I want to know what that conversation was, and I want them to bring that up at the reunion about how that came up between the two of them. Because you should have pulled a boss move, Brittany, and just been like, hey, I'm not talking to you. Bye. You know? All right, y'all. My mom's back. I will continue in a little bit.
Hey y'all, as you can see, this is going to be an audio. I'm just going to end this review really fast. I wasn't able to get back on camera, so I just want to finish up this review so I can get it posted for you guys, because we're at the end of the recap anyways. So we're going to finish up with, like I said, Jared and Brittany. They basically, were doing their, push and pull with each other. It's very obvious that Jared loves toying with Brittany's emotions. She's constantly asking for straightforward answers of, what are we? Are we doing this? Are we together? And he gives her the runaround of like, well, I mean, if you would do right, like if you act right, like, I mean, why do you want to do something when you're supposed to be taking a 30-day break? Like, it's so obvious. And I just hope that if Brittany's daughter watches this shit back, that she just doesn't get even more disgusted, because girl, Brittany, your daughter done had it. She done had enough, all right? And then you sitting here doing this bullshit on national TV. It's embarrassing not only for you, but for her. Like, god dang, girl. Get some gumption about yourself,
Stand up! Stand up!
But yeah, so we basically see Brittany crying and just talking about, I just want to feel safe. Like, girl, you ain't gonna feel safe with nobody until you learn how to be safe with yourself. Okay? And that's auntie advice for you right there. But let's go ahead and move to the very end. We have Bronwyn and Todd basically having their sit down after, he got sent to hell / the 4 seasons. So she sits down with him and basically was like, this is very hard for me, Todd, like, dealing with these situations. Like, I'm trying to be, supportive and trusting, but when you do these things, you make it very hard. Todd immediately copped to it. He was like, look, like, I know what I did was wrong. I'm able to hold myself accountable, and, I shouldn't have done it. And so she's like, I did talk about this with Whitney, because I need somebody to talk to about this. The minute she brought up Whitney's name, you could tell Todd's demeanor changed, because he already don't want to be on this show. Because more than anything, then it's about like he's more concerned about his work reputation, and so it's one thing to be talking about our relationship, but it's another thing to be talking about like our sex lives per se. But he was like, he tried to cut it real short when she was bringing up all the issues and how she was talking to, Whitney or whatever. He tried to be like, well, the good thing about us, Bronwyn, is like, our relationship, we've been together for what he said, like 11, 12 years. And he's like, the good thing about us is we've never had an issue talking about things and getting over it. And I said, what you really mean is, the good thing is I can hurry up and talk to you and you'll get over it. Or we can have a conversation and you just gonna basically deal with what I say. Like, we gonna have a conversation. At the end of the day, you gonna concede because you vibe for my validation so much. And Bronwyn is self-aware. She literally told Todd, she's like, I want his she wants his validation. She just wants to be seen by him. She wants to be seen by her parents. Like, it's very much a trauma response for her with how she grew up with her mama. But she's basically telling Todd, like, I wouldn't mind doing an arrangement with you. If you want to do something, like, at least bring it up to me so we can have a conversation about it. And I think Bronwyn kind of low-key wants to bring up, like, nigga, we gonna be open. Like, you constantly around here sticking your little limp noodle dick in all these other women, but I can't get no strong dick for myself. Like, I can go out here in these streets, okay, and get a little, sit on a little something, okay? I can't hop on the dick and do a full split. Because obviously men like that, they only want the rules to fall in their favor. They never want the woman to be able to do what they do. So Bronwyn, you might just have to. I'm not a proponent for cheating. I'm not. But Todd opened this door up. Point blank period. Todd opened that door up. And if you could do a better job of hiding it than he can, I mean, we all know women better because we gotta hide it. Y'all, am I shitty for suggesting don't give a damn about Todd? Because I really don't give a damn about Todd, because he don't give a damn about Bronwyn. Like, when you're in a relationship with somebody, how do you consider them way more than they consider you? Like, the vows of the relationship have been broken. This is something that Todd has done multiple times. So it's just kind of like, Bronwyn, if you did, I ain't saying you do it, but if you did, don't feel bad, nor would I feel bad about it. Okay. But yeah, so basically he was like, we just need to stay talking to each other. You don't need to bring this up to a group of ladies that aren't really truly your friend, and don't mean any good for you or whatever. But she's like, Todd, like I have to, she's like, I'm building a relationship with Whitney, and I have to do that because like I need friends outside of this relationship. And that is something that we know a lot of abusive men do. They isolate women. That's always the start of it. Making sure that the woman you're with is isolated so she can't have people reminding her or telling her, girl, that ain't right. What he doing to you is foul and you need to cut this shit short, But yeah, you guys, that was the end of the episode. We basically just sit down and watch, Bronwyn basically try to get with Todd and be like, look, either we gonna evolve or you gonna have to cut the shit out, like, because we not doing this. And I think Bronwyn's evolution just might involve her potentially getting dick on the side, and I'm here for every minute of it because we know, like I said, Todd ain't laying no pipe down. Okay, he ain't no type of plumber. He ain't giving no bolo. All right. But yeah, you guys, y'all drop in the comments what you think about the episode. Do you guys believe that the ladies are coming up with a scheme to get rid of Lisa? Do you guys feel like Meredith really, acted a plum ass on that plane? Do you guys believe that Bronwyn would be able to stay with Todd and, as she says, come up with an arrangement, a new arrangement, or or evolve with Todd, as she likes to say? Okay. I appreciate you for tuning in. Follow my Instagram and Twitter. I'll catch y'all hoes later. Deuces.